Now, this update has been a big one on LinkedIn over the last week. LinkedIn has introduced a new button to combat AI slop. So, some of you may be seeing this already. It seems like a lot of people are getting this on their phone first on the LinkedIn app. And this button, which is called the Seems Like AI Slop button, has begun to roll out so that users can now click on it on a post that they think appears to be generated by AI. Feedback gathered by the button will act as a signal to help LinkedIn work out how it's going to prioritize content in the feed and hopefully reduce the presence of low quality AI content in suggested feed recommendations. So it's really helping to combat heavy AI usage on the platform and helping writers to refine their work and make those trusted, authentic voices shine through even more. This is what one of the product managers at LinkedIn recently said. So AI slop is a top priority for LinkedIn at the moment. People want to connect with real people. We all want to hear real stories, real perspectives. We don't want to see AI synthetic generated discussion points on LinkedIn. They've been working hard on comments this year, so getting rid of any AI bots. They say they've blocked billions of automation attempts in the last couple of months alone, which I think is really interesting. They are now ramping up a series of new and improved classifiers that identify if a post is AI slop or generally low quality because they want to reduce the amount of AI slop that you're going to see. They have said that slop is hard to define and the definition is changing. I'm sure you all remember about a year ago, the key way of identifying if someone has used AI or not was the overuse of emojis. It was the overuse of the M dash, for example, that long dash that we used to see. But people have got smarter, AI tools have got better, and now it can be quite difficult sometimes to identify if something's AI slop or not. They've said for anyone who shares content, we will test a way to privately flag in your analytics dashboard when members feel that your post may have come off as inauthentic or heavy use of AI. So this basically means if lots of people are using that seems like AI slot button, you will get flagged privately about that. So I think that's a really good approach just to make sure that people are aware if, people aren't enjoying their posts or it sounds like synthetic content, then they can maybe work harder at getting that human angle across a little bit better. One thing that I thought was really interesting as well in this update was that they have actually removed the enhance your post feature, which when you're writing a post on LinkedIn, you used to see a little enhance with AI button, which would rewrite your post using AI to make it sound better. They've actually taken that feature away and replaced it with a feature that simply proofreads your update, but it doesn't change your voice. So I thought that was really interesting that they've kind of gone back on their approach here. I think a lot of platforms at the moment are really rethinking their approach to AI to make sure that social media just doesn't get flooded with a bunch of samey content. Now, talking of AI slop, which is definitely, it was the word of the year last year, but it's definitely become a phrase that a lot of people are much more aware of and are using a lot to call out other people's bad content. But what does it actually mean? Well, AI slop is low quality content generated by or created by generative AI, which often contains errors. It's often not requested by the user, so it's, missing the mark of what they potentially even wanted to create. A lot of people are lumping the two together. So a lot of people are just calling any AI slop. And there's a big conversation and panic happening at the moment around the use of AI in social media. We're certainly feeling that AI fatigue is real. Audiences are getting better at spotting AI content and they're rewarding brands that stay creative, human, and authentic. In fact, this is something that I posted about yesterday on LinkedIn about the overuse of AI posters generated using ChatGPT. And the post went viral overnight. So I think a lot of people are realizing that, yes, AI posters, AI generated text, like this example, they're just not well received anymore. And so we need to take this moment to try and move away from this kind of content. So this is the social media caption, which has just been created within Claude with barely any prompt. And you can see that all the signs of AI are there. The tone doesn't sound like us. It's over enthusiastic. There's lots of commonly used words and phrases by AI like game changer and unlock the power, which just isn't our tone of voice at all. There's lots of emojis, lots of hashtags, and lots of M dashes, those long dashes as well. Now, one key way that you can move away from this kind of content is actually to create a tone of voice document for your brand and upload that to your LLM. So in this case, we're heavy users of Claude. We've set up our tone of voice document as a skill in Claude. So this means that we can jump on our tone of voice and use our tone of voice across everything that we do in Claude just by asking it to use it. And we'll be covering this in a lot more detail at our Claude for Social Media Managers workshop, which is coming up in September, which I'll tell you about shortly. This is all such a hot topic at the moment because this week the EU has rolled out its AI Act. So, this is a new way in which the EU is requiring both companies and individuals to label their AI generated and AI modified content in order to meet their transparency requirements. So, what this basically means is under the new rules, chatbots and other interactive AI systems will have to tell users they're dealing with AI, not a human. Deep fakes, such as images, videos, and audio that have been edited or generated using AI, will have to be labeled. And AI generated or altered content will also have to carry machine readable marks so it can be detected more easily. So that has come into play this week in the EU. It looks like other countries are very likely to follow suit. So it's good practice to get into labeling any AI generated or AI modified content now by putting it into your caption. Just those words AI generated or AI modified will cover you because that's looking like it's likely to be global law at some point soon. Now, I mentioned that we are going to be running a Claude for Social Media Managers workshop, and this is happening on the 22nd of September. This is a workshop where we're going to be covering why you should be using Claude, why we prefer it to other LLM tools, and how to use it effectively for all of your social media processes behind the scenes. So, I'm not saying for writing captions, this is much more for brainstorming, planning, for things like research. Maybe even for help with templates in Canva. We're going to be talking about the Canva connector a lot as well. So if you haven't really dipped your toe into Claude yet, then I would really recommend coming along. And this is on the 22nd of September, 1 till 3 UK time. And as with everything that we do, it all gets recorded and distributed to anyone who signs up.